In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
This is Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Picking up hour 2 here, Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM channel 158. If you miss any of the show, remember you can always download Money Moves in podcast form wherever you get your podcasts. Had a great conversation with Sean Powell of NBA.com, breaking down tonight's card, 3 big games in the NBA. We'll discuss those more in a bit. We'll also get into the NHL card coming up tonight. And I did want to follow up, actually, real quickly. You said you had some tweets.
Yeah, well, so I have one that I wanted to address really quickly. So Kevin Ryan checked in because we talked about this and at the beginning of the show about the Boston Celtics three-point shooting and how it tied directly really into the results to reset what we were discussing so we can get to the tweet. Boston in the wins in this series, 60 of 144, 41.6% from beyond the arc. Boston three-point percentage in the losses in this series, 24 of 88, 27.2%. Willing to bet dollars to donuts, whatever that means, that if you go and look at their splits for the regular season, you'll see a similar split, wins and losses in three-point shooting. So brought that up and simply broke it down as, look, when Boston shoots well, they win. When they don't, they lose. So Kevin, who is listening, checked in and said, how can Mazzulla be considered coach of the year when his team's offense is hit a high percentage of threes and you probably win? How about running other offense when the bombs aren't falling? My response here would be, if you look statistically at Boston, they were 10th in frequency of wide open or uncontested three-point attempts in the regular season. They were 11th in overall actual attempts. So in other words, they were generating wide open looks at a top 10 rate in the NBA regular season. You don't do that when your strategy is just bomb. And I think that's one of the things that is lost in the conversation about analytics, offense in the NBA, and for, frankly, the people, and this is not you, Kevin, but the people who don't watch it. I showed you, who's your hockey guy that we were talking about yesterday? The Spittin' Chicklets guy.
Whitney. Ryan Whitney.
Yes, and he had the comment yesterday of, the NBA, it's never been worse. I don't watch, but it's never been worse. I find those things are kind of like a Venn diagram where it's like, look, you actually have to watch and understand Boston's strategy is not just walk up and pull the trigger. Some possessions are like that, but they are running offense to generate open looks, and they are a top 10 team at generating said open looks. So it should not be, well, this team's just lazy, for lack of a better term, and they're just shooting threes. Yeah. They're doing things to get to those threes, and I think that is lost on some people.
Well, and I think that goes back to the question I asked you yesterday about if or whether or not that style of play is conducive to a long playoff run and ultimately making it to and potentially winning an NBA title, if that type of performance is sustainable. And largely, I think because of the looks that they get and how often they do get hot from shooting from range kind of qualifies that, yes, that is something that can carry you far if you're hitting. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. No, maybe so. Okay. Another tweet we got, and I just want to say, a little bit rude here, Brian M., but I'll read it anyways. Said, JVT, maybe you could get Stormy to enlighten the listeners as to what college football or NHL ESPN was covering in Japan. I'm sorry, can I not take vacation? In any walk of life, do you guys get vacation time? I think that you deserve it at some point. No?
I mean, I don't take vacation.
Yes, you do. You're literally taking off Thursday and Friday this week.
2 days compared to 2 weeks. I don't know.
Are you not going to take off any time in the summer? Are you really? You're not going to take any vacation time? You don't take any days off?
So far, I have a 4-day weekend set up for this summer at one point, actually during the NBA Finals, because my little sister's getting married.
That's great. That's exciting.
Yeah. Not just to go jaunt in another country.
I know you. Just because you don't go to other countries doesn't mean you don't take time off. I'm just saying.
Stephanie, please, if you're watching, let's get the record of how many times I've asked for time off since I've joined the show.
All right. I'll look it up. I'll count it out.
You can do it on one hand.
Speaking, because you brought up college football though.
She shook.
I'm not shook. I'm just saying.
So Sorsby, huh? We got more details on our guy, Brendan Sorsby.
Here, you break it down.
Well, there's nothing to break down. We got more details on this. We have yet to see now. He has not been, because I saw this getting tossed around. from what I can understand, he has not officially been banned by the NCAA. I think
Not
a lot of people
yet.
did. He is on an indefinite leave so far. So Brendan Sorsby's $5 million deal is in jeopardy. NCAA is examining his gambling wagers. We're getting more details on some of the things outside of the alleged time when he was with Indiana. He bet on the team to win. He did not appear in any of the games that he bet on, right? I'm getting these factually correct so far.
Yes.
And always bet on Indiana to win when he was part of the team a couple of
He
years
was
ago.
a redshirt freshman. He only played one game that season. The game that he bet, he did not participate in.
Yep. So with that, we're also starting to get some more on this. Allegedly betting anywhere from $2.50 to like 50 cents on the next pitch during a Cincinnati Reds game that he was out there watching as well. So here's the thing. It's very simple. If he bet on games while he was at Indiana, yeah, he deserves to be punished in some sort of way. It's really simple. It's the Pete Rose thing, right? It's like, dude, just don't bet on your sport. It's really simple. Now, I think the NCAA, much like the NFL at a time, probably has to cut down on the tightness of some of their rules for some of their athletes. You know, for example, why should the Cincinnati Bearcats quarterback be prohibited from betting on a Cincinnati Reds game if he's sitting there watching it in the ballpark? How does that affect the integrity of the sport in which he participates?
And so for people who maybe don't know, the NCAA makes it where you cannot bet on any of their sponsored sports or professional sports that are of those sponsored sports.
And I don't know.
So if college baseball is under that umbrella, professional baseball is under that umbrella.
And I got this information yesterday, and I have not read the details on this, but because I do local radio, we talked to Mo Egger, who's out in ESPN Cincinnati. And one of the things he brought up is he said specifically Big 12 athletes have to download an app, Prohibet, that tracks any betting. I don't know if that's for every conference, but that's how he got caught here.
Yeah, that's a new thing that I think came out in the last year.
Okay. So that's how our guy got caught. I think at the end of the day, pretty cut and dry. If you did it in Indiana, then you're probably going to get punished, all of that. I think what, again, we've talked about here on this program should be said, and I'm preaching to the choir because if you're watching this, then you're a bettor of some sort, or you enjoy the content that comes from sports betting in some way or fashion. But this vilification, again, of the industry, and I saw a lot of posted, there was one that was making the rounds yesterday. It was a post of a bunch of different screenshots of different sports networks, and all of them had the different betting odds tied to like the bug on the bottom and everything. And somebody, and I'm paraphrasing, the tweet said, how could we not see this coming with Brendan Sorsby? Why is it that the sports gambling industry is the one vice, and it is a vice, but it's a one that you can partake in willingly, in which the onus is on the industry and not the individual? Brendan Sorsby knew he shouldn't do this when he was at Indiana. Brendan Sorsby, by all accounts, had the app on his phone called Prohibet. That it was called Prohibet. And it tracks what you're doing, and he did it anyway. And yet we're supposed to sit here and say, man, that evil sports betting.
Yep.
How could they do this to him? It goes back to, and I always go back to this paragraph because it looks stupider by the day. When Jontay Porter first got kicked out of the NBA, where we didn't know
It's such a good line.
all of the tentacles that spread out from Porter in this situation that he now finds himself in. And this reporter puts to close the article, thought they were going to hit it out of the park. Jontay Porter was not ready for the world he was thrust into when it came to the advertising of sports betting. This is not something that is hey, industry is evil and it's getting all these guys. They are adults who are making choices to do these things. It is ridiculous that out of all of the vices that we see and the negatives of all of these vices, that this is the lone one that continues to be attacked the way that it is. I saw Pablo Torre yesterday call it an epidemic. Yeah. Like we have to stop this, and at some point have to hold these people like Sorsby accountable. If he did this, he deserves to get punished. He broke the rules. He's an idiot. And that's pretty cut and dry. It has nothing to do with sitting at home and going, oh my God, it's another DraftKings ad. I have to bet Reds first pitch. It is an absolute ridiculous conversation that happens every time something like this transpires.
And to the point that you brought up yesterday about like all of this stuff with, I hate myself so much. I just totally lost my train of thought with where I was going on that. But you brought up something so good yesterday.
Wow, you really dropped it, huh?
Yeah. Shoot.
Where are you going?
No.
I mean, I bring up a lot of good points. So, I mean, I don't blame you for forgetting
I forgot
where
I was going to go with that. Neither here nor there. It is funny, though, that he has Prohibet while also having, like, Hard Rock, BetMGM, DraftKings, Bet365, and, like, 8 other betting apps on his phone all while having that.
Also, I mean, you made some money at Cincinnati. You can't afford a burner? If you're really going to bet, you can't afford to get another phone that you would then have it?
Here's what it is.
Nice.
So the fact that he goes to seek treatment, right? And that's the big thing, is that he's going to get rehabilitative help for this. It's all, yes, even the On3 article that we were discussing said that the NCAA told Texas Tech about their investigation last week. And then we find out this information about Sorsby yesterday. So it's all, it is what it is.
It's Vrabel leaving for a day for counseling.
While on college sports, I did also want to bring up in college basketball the news yesterday that the NCAA tournament is going to expand to 76 teams.
Yay.
I mean, it's just a money grab, right? Like, it's just the rich. And okay, so here's something.
It's about giving kids opportunities, Storm.
So this is the thing that bothers me about this and about the NCAA at large when it comes to topics like this, is that we act as if this is going to give the little guy more opportunities and more bites at the apple, when all this is about is the rich getting richer and you getting the larger conferences to get more at-large bids, because we want a sub 500 Auburn to get into the tournament now. Like, that's all this is going to do. And I know it's like magnified because of this past year in college basketball. It was, for at least us, a very weak bubble, right? So the lens with which we're looking through it is like, why now of all times are we going to try to expand when this year's bubble was as terrible as it was? But here's my thing. Nobody asked for this. Like, we don't want this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why don't we just leave something alone? Every other posting is trying to recreate what a wonderful Cinderella-esque story they have year after year, and we're trying to like fix something that's fine.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Jay Williams today, the clip was posted on Awful announcing. He went down the path of, everybody doesn't need a trophy. And it's like, yeah, that would make sense here if that's what the point of this was. But that's not it. That the intention here is not to get everybody to participate in the NCAA tournaments so they can feel better about themselves. It's so that big fat rich people can get richer.
Yeah. Also, the CBI and NIT are already like flailing and not being able to get teams to participate in their tournaments. Those are just going to be completely dead.
Which one of them died?
CBI,
not died, but like
CBI, yes,
did not play this year.
But the NIT, everybody was bailing out of that as well. So that said,
hey, there was a lot of good Mountain West programs in that NIT.
Are we all going to watch? Yes, but still, I just think this was unnecessary. Hey, San Diego State would have made the tournament under this umbrella. By the way, so, I mean, we've obviously got some strong opinions today. I know you guys do as well when you're in your group chats with your friends. And if that is the case, you got to check out Cut. It's a social betting platform that lets you bet directly against your friends on pretty much anything. So it could be sports talk like we're having right now, politics, pop culture, personal bets, everything fully customizable and pre-funded. And unlike traditional betting apps, Cut actually gives you cash back on every bet you make as well. You can get a 20% deposit bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code VSIN. Download Cut today, KUTT.com, or in the App Store. We'll be right back.
Hey, let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit is due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles, and when there's a good game on, you're probably getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. But there's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSIN Pro. Yeah, I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month for just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on an annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSIN Pro. All right, now back to the show.
I've been looking into Prolon, and what really stood out to me is that it's designed to give you the benefits of fasting without actually having to stop eating completely. It's a plant-based 5-day program with everything pre-packaged for you. Soups, snacks, drinks, all designed to keep your body in a fasting state so it can activate things like cellular repair and renewal. It's actually backed by years of research and developed alongside one of the leading longevity institutes, which makes me feel really comfortable in trying it. Prolon is offering FieldSwell listeners 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just go to prolonlife.com/FieldSwell. Again, that's prolonlife.com/FieldSwell to get your discount and bonus gift today.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A pretty good tweet for anybody who missed it in the National Hockey League today. The Vezina finalists were announced. So top goaltender in the National Hockey League this year.
Any controversies?
I think to an extent, some. It's Ilya Sorokin, Jeremy Swayman, and Andrei Vasilevsky who are your three finalists. And where the, I think, slight controversy comes into this is Scott Wedgwood, who has been like a revelation in net for the Colorado Avalanche this year, led the league in numerous categories, but the games played is a good chunk lower than these guys, and also because of the team that he plays behind and the caliber of talent that the Colorado Avalanche have. And I just saw a good tweet as I was kind of scrolling in the commercial break from @Biazaro. So Wedgwood can't win the Vezina because he plays behind Makar, who can't win the Norris, because he plays behind McKinnon, who can't win the Hart, because he plays with Makar and Natchez, who are coached by Bednar, who can't win Jack Adams because he coaches Makar and McKinnon, which is just top tier. And so true. Very, very accurate with everything that went down this year. So I can't believe Bednar doesn't have a Jack Adams award for best coach in the NHL.
I know, right?
It's pretty, I know you're messing with me,
the
but
nuance,
still.
Well, no, I'm not messing with you. You're probably making great points, but the nuance of this conversation is
lost on you. It's fine. But I just thought that was an interesting.
I assume everything you're reading makes sense, and some hockey people are nodding vigorously somewhere.
Absolutely. I know there's a small percentage of you out there listening. You're like, yup, yup, yup.
Whoa.
And that's what I thought when I was reading it. Whoa. So I get it.
Small percentage. I'll take a shot at hockey.
Okay, please. You're the one. You're the one. I'm not doing this with you.
Even a larger percentage than
I am excited to talk some hockey here real quickly. And I know we mentioned a little bit of the Oilers-Ducks result last night. Edmonton gets the win 4-1 to stave off elimination, at least for another day before this series goes back to Anaheim. Good call by you on the under, although it did not look that way, the way that this game started. 3 goals for Edmonton in the first 10 minutes. Lukas Dostal gets pulled right away. Draisaitl has 2 goals, Evan Bouchard with 3. Chris Knobloch, their head coach, talked before the game about Connor McDavid being a game-time decision, and everybody was kind of freaking out a little bit. Could he be available? Could he not? Here is him after the game on TNT, Liam McHugh asking him about his availability.
How close were you to maybe not playing in this game?
Never close. We got a lot of guys that are digging in and giving everything they got, and no, it was never an option.
Do we think he's being like hyperbolic, tough guy athlete when he says that?
I don't.
Just never a thought. Or was there actually a real question about whether he was going to go, but he's talking about his own mentality of like, I was never going to let it happen?
I don't think so. I think Knobloch was just saying that day because he didn't skate, and he played 20 minutes the game prior. Last night, he plays the second most minutes of anybody on his team yesterday. Yes, he's been playing through and dealing with something on that ankle, but at the end of the day, knowing what he means to this team and the situation they were in, I even said yesterday on the air, I would have been absolutely shocked if he did not play. And so he does. He has a productive day. The Ducks end up falling flat in that one, although they are still minus 230 favorites for the series. They're favored coming up on Thursday as they get another chance to shut the door. And so for me coming out of this game yesterday, JVT, and I'm curious if you agree, I feel like as an Oilers fan or a backer, if you're any of these people, you have to be so frustrated because you see that you're capable of playing defense. You see that you're capable of playing with confidence and composure. Why do you only seem to play this way when your back's against the wall? And it sucks because this is a team that has gone to the Cup final each of the last 2 years. We talked about Connor McDavid coming back and saying that how badly he wants to win with this team. They haven't done enough to support him. Yet we have a game like yesterday where you show all the capabilities in the world and you only show up in this situation.
I mean, I would agree with all of your points. We've talked a lot. Is it showing up or is it just a flawed roster built around the best player on the planet? Is that a controversial statement? And no. You're limited by what you have decided to put together as a team and a roster.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so good on offense because they're led by McDavid that, yes, there's going to be these opportunities at times where you can come in and win some of these games. But like you said, you put yourself in this position because at the trade deadline, you stood pat and you were like, nope, this is the way we're going to do it. And McDavid, again, I will say, I don't know why you put yourself through it and allow the team to continue to do this. You have every bit of power in the world, but this is a group that is flawed. And I guess maybe you would know this better than I. Can they just get hot to be able to pull this off and win the next 2 games?
Well, the market
Probably.
thinks they can win the next one. They're minus 130 favorites in Anaheim. Total 6.5.
But they've been priced pretty high throughout the series. We talked about this yesterday before the McDavid news. It opened minus 175 in favor of Edmonton, and I see a team playing the way they do defensively and what they have in goal, and I just don't think pricing wise that makes much sense.
Did also really quickly, and I agree with you. Want to give an update from an injury standpoint for the Bruins Sabres series. Kudos to Boston. They get the win yesterday, 2-1 in overtime. Did you see the Pastrnak goal by chance?
No.
The insanity with which there's a turnover on the re-entry, stretch pass to Pasta, who is going full speed to the net and Alex Lyon and just stops on a dime. Lyon thinks he's going backhand. He goes forehand, and it's just a masterful moment. So good on Boston for them being able to get that win. For Buffalo, rookie Noah Ostlund injured his left leg. He came out of the game, tried to come back, couldn't tried to re-enter again and just couldn't do it. So he is expected, according to Lindy Ruff, to miss, quote, a period of time. He said immediately after the game it didn't look good. And this is a big loss for Buffalo. So I'm curious what it's going to look like with Josh Norris reportedly getting back into the lineup coming up for their next game. The way that this young kid has brought such a burst to that line, they've been awesome. And so I'm curious how much of a role that might play moving forward. Buffalo still up 3-2 in the series, but Boston gets to go back home now with a little bit of confidence under their belt. And I do kind of lean Boston actually on Friday, minus 102 at home, Buffalo minus 118, low total again, 5.5. Okay, looking to today, the Pens looking to be the 11th team in NHL history to force a Game 7 after being down 0-3 in a series.
How you feeling?
I bet the Flyers today.
Why? You already having to win the series, don't you?
Yeah, but I really like the spot that they're in.
What happened the last time you did this?
I don't want to talk about it.
For those who don't know, because she did not come out openly with this, but doubled up on the Charlotte Hornets in that matchup against the Orlando
that was
Magic.
supposed to be for us. That was supposed to be for private time, okay?
How did that go?
It didn't go well, all right? We all know what happened to
Can't
Charlotte.
double up. Just trust.
I don't know. I just feel like
You're nervous.
you're making me nervous. So my leans for this game
See what
and all.
a calm, cool confidence can do. Look, you're shaking.
I
Justin's
lean
not nervous.
Flyers. I
Justin
lean
thinks his Flyers are going
under.
to come in here and end this thing tonight.
Puck everybody. Tonight's the night. Which, did you see the uproar for those shirts, by the way?
Like, good upper?
No, people were,
stop.
there were so many people that were like, there are children that go to these games.
Stop.
I'm serious.
I have kids and I don't care. How about this? What has gone wrong for Philadelphia in these two games?
Sidney Crosby.
That's quite literally it.
No, it's
'Cause
been
the Penguins did change goaltenders, did they not?
Yes.
That changes things for you.
A little, and which is why another reason though that I do like the under in this game.
Because Skinner
It's
at
been
the
a lower
start of
scoring.
April kind of stunk, and then that carried over in the series a little bit.
Yes. So I think that's a fair point. I think your best players showing up in big moments has mattered. But for this spot, I think Flyers back at home. I think this is that more typical playoff game that you get where it is more defensive and tighter checking. It's been a lower scoring series to begin with. I wanted to bring up one thing specifically, though, here. Let me find the exact quote. So Rick Tocchet was kind of talking out both sides of his mouth a little bit when I was going through their availability yesterday. He said in one side that he doesn't feel like it's X's and O's as much as it's determination for his team. But then he said there's about 4 or 5 guys that want to score so bad, they're forgetting their own process. And specifically brought up Travis Konechny in that. And I kind of like buying in on guys that get challenged publicly. And it's not like it was a very clear, like, Travis needs to be better, but it definitely was calling him out to an extent. I like that angle of him to get a point tonight. He's had 4 in 5 of the series, led the team in points during the regular season. You could go for just an assist at plus money, maybe. He's $2 to have 1 or more shots on goal, but if you go 2+, I think that could be a good look on the alts. But because he also brought up determination, I think that's another thing where, because you've dropped these last 2 games the way you have, you have to show up at home in a different gear. And that I think and hope that they'll have it tonight. One more bet that I did place on this, and I know we'll do like best bets at the end of the hour as well, but the under 1.5 goals at minus 110. I mentioned this already being in my brain a lower scoring game, but the Flyers haven't had a single first period goal in this series, and the Pens have only had 3. We haven't seen these first period overs at all. Silvos back in net for Pittsburgh again, 920 save percentage, 175 goals saved above expected. Vladar on the other side, only given up 2 a game this series, 913 save percentage, specifically in the first period. I think this should be low scoring. I think the game should be low scoring, and I'm excited for this one. Hopefully the Flyers get it done, and I can win a double up for the first time this postseason.
Yeah, I hope they lose.
I know you do. It's so annoying.
For those who don't remember, I do have the Penguins at about 3-1 to win this series. That was after game 2, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't look good because they lost game 3. Yeah, because I was after game 2, and then I think that was when I sent you the
because that was when
picture.
you texted me.
They went up 1-0, and then I didn't realize that they had gone down
and
like
then
3-1.
I gave up 3 unanswered in that moment.
We're back at it, baby.
Yeah, we got to step aside though.
Let's go
We'll
Pens.
get into the NBA. 3 games coming up tonight that we can preview. Best bets at the end of the hour. Stick around; you won't want to miss it.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Road to the Triple Crown starts now, and if you're betting the Kentucky Derby, this is the time to get dialed in right now. You can take advantage of our Triple Crown special, where you get full VSiN Pro access to everything going on here at the network through the Belmont Stakes on June 6th. For just $14.99, you'll get our Kentucky Derby betting guide with expert best bets, predictions, past performance data, and Mike Somich's superfecta this season. He hit it last year, plus you'll have access to the Oaks and Derby previews, post-draw analysis, race day coverage, and a full slate of races with expert breakdowns all week long. And of course, don't forget, in addition to all things Kentucky Derby, you get all of our daily best bets each and every day, real-time betting splits, AI-powered prop tools, 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app, and so much more. The offer expires tomorrow. Visit vsin.com/subscribe. While it's still available, that's vsin.com/subscribe. Like I mentioned earlier as well, the aforementioned Mike Somich going to be holding it down with me tomorrow here on the program. Excited to talk all things Derby with him. We're going to stick with the NBA for now, though, as we got 3 big games coming up tonight. Stormy Buonantony, Jonathan Von Tobel with you here. And I think today, injury-wise, all eyes kind of go to this Lakers-Rockets potential closeout game once again. LA trying to get it done. We know that Kevin Durant's going to miss a 3rd game now in this series. But on the other side, all of the talk about Austin Reeves the last couple games, he's been a game-time decision, barring a setback, barring this. Today, that's the commentary yet again, but according to Shams Charania and others, it appears this is actually the day where it's going to come to fruition and we see Reeves on the court.
Maybe, according to reports. I think that until you obviously know what's going to happen here with Reeves, it's hard to bet into this number. Market seems to believe that he's going to be out there, but we have been burned many times. I mean, the reporting for game 3 was that he was going to warm up for game 3, and if not, then he was going to definitely play in game 4. It is game 5, I believe, and we have yet to see him in this series. So I would not want to get burned laying 4.5 with a game that could ultimately close anywhere. We saw this with Kevin Durant as well in one of these games earlier in the series too. So it's really hard to dive in with both feet and say, this is how I'm going to play it. If an offensive player, the skill level of Austin Reeves is in question for this, I would say that I think that either way, you can trust that the Lakers are going to be able to get this done and close this series out. But again, you're talking about laying $1.85 on a money line. If you wanted to go in that route, that's going to close quite a few cents shorter if Austin Reeves is not going to be out there tonight. Yeah. So if you buy the reporting, which has been inaccurate in this series or just vague to the point of not really being worth anything, then maybe you can get in on this. But I don't know about you. I don't know why I would feel confident either way coming in and feeling like that's it. I guess the strategy you could take is, do you take, if you like the Rockets, you take 4.5 here, thinking that if Reeves doesn't play, then you're going to get the best of the number. And if he does play, it's not going to move off this number very much. But we tried that, if you remember, we talked about that, which was it? Was it game 2? Whichever one Kevin Durant missed early in the series, it was, they think I made the case like, well, this clearly thinks he's going to play, so just bet it because it's not going to move. And then sure enough, he got announced, and it even moved up further. So I just think at the end of the day, it's hard when there's an injury like this to dive in pre-flop on any of these things. And that includes player props too, by the way. I mean, if Austin Reeves, that is a gravitational pull that is going to change the shot output for a lot of different players. how can you feel confident in some of the projections that you have or anything like that, not knowing a piece like that is on the board?
And this was, as you mentioned, it's 4.5 now, but this was at open 2.5 in favor of the Lakers. So with the expectation that Reeves is going to be available, we saw that number come up. So we'll find out for sure what it is a little bit later on. But yeah, all of the reports are the expectation is for Reeves to go today, barring any setback in pregame warmups today. Total 208.5 there as well. So you talked about the Cavs earlier today. 9.5 after dropping back-to-back games in Toronto, favored in both. They couldn't get it done. Can they now with the big number at home?
I think they can. Spoiler alert, I'm tailing Kelly Bidlin here. Team total over for the Cavs, I think is a pretty good shout. Over 113.5 you could find at multiple different places here. I would trust that they can get this done at home as well if you're Cleveland. There's a couple of things, but first and foremost, this is dangerous. I don't think James Harden will play like that again. Is that, I mean, that's
after the whole soapbox you got on the other day of like, we should have known. Why did I even make any defense of this team?
Well, nobody on this
James
show.
Harden's being James Harden.
No. I would challenge anybody to find any proof that I like Cleveland this year.
Okay.
I would scrub.
The sarcasm is just coming out of your pores.
I don't think that that's ever happened really at any point whatsoever. I get tired of these people putting these words in my mouth.
It's ridiculous. I can't believe anyone would say that.
But I do think that coming back home, and we'll play the cliche for just a brief moment in the sense of role players do play better at home. More familiar shooting lines, blah blah blah. But I would also say, can we bring up in basketball everybody's favorite word, the V word, variance? Over the last 3 games, shooting percentage for the Cleveland Cavaliers from beyond the arc. Stormy, you ready for this? 32.5%, 31.8%, 25.6%. This is a team that can shoot way better than that. And over the last 3 games, they have been garbage from beyond the arc. So, assuming water finds its level, they shot 50% from 3 in the first game. It has been a wild series so far in terms of just shooting variance as a whole. The other side of this for Toronto, by the way, Toronto, who's actually not a good three-point shooting team, has put together some monster performances from beyond the arc themselves, had 2 games in which they shot over 50% from 3 for the game. So I would expect that going back home, getting your legs back underneath you, having the ability to change sights and have familiar shooting lines, all those sort of things that we talk about, that you're going to be able to get this done. I also don't mind the game over. Again, last game was abhorrent in terms of efficiency for both teams. I just talked about the 31% from 3 for Cleveland. Toronto, as you remember, shot less than 20% from 3 and won the game. So I would think that you're going to be able to get a little bit more of an open contest here today and a higher scoring one at that.
By the way, as we talk through all of these games, the NBA postseason rolls on. If you're looking for real picks backed by real analysis, you should also check out Just Win Bets, baby. They've got mathematical models and AI-driven best bets across all sports, but including the NBA, the NHL, once we get back to football season, UFC, soccer, and more, plus a live weekend preview every Friday. So just a couple days away from that. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow them on X as well and get their freely daily best bets newsletter at justwinbetsbaby.com. We do have one more game coming up tonight in the association. The Pistons are down.
You're wearing Pistons blue.
Couldn't this also be Magic blue?
I think it's a little more Pistonsy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dealer's choice. I'm not rooting for either side. However,
there's some white flakes on your shoulder.
Down 3 games to 1. Do I have dandruff? Do I need to get some Head and Shoulders? I think I'm fine. Okay, it's dry. It's dry shampoo.
Look at that.
Do men use dry shampoo ever?
I know what that is actually, and no, I don't know if men use it, but I've never used it.
The female population, we swear by it.
I'm going to get. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just going to say that that's one of those things that I think smells oddly good.
Yeah,
Dry
for sure.
shampoo.
No, it does. It does.
Same with gasoline.
Try it out.
Speaking of gasoline, you use that to light things on fire, and that is the Pistons season. How about that?
Ooh.
Absolutely on fire because this has been a nightmare for them. But a slight door ajar with the injury to Franz Wagner and whether or not they can get this thing done. I think that it makes sense that you would expect the Pistons in an elimination game to put forth their best effort as a 1 seed and potentially get a victory. Having said that,
10.5 though.
That seems like a lot, man. I mean, given where this series has been played, net rating for this series for both teams, +2 in favor of Orlando. That means -2 in favor, against Detroit. This has been a tight series. It has been a low-scoring series. Detroit, in the game that they covered that we had discussed, the one game that they had won, it took a third quarter, like flurry. Remember, you had brought up the stats for the stretch that they had scored like 30 points over the course of whatever it was, and there has not been any consistent offense here. So to trust that Detroit offensively against a team that has held them to a point per possession for the entire series, even without Franz Wagner, is going to be able to win by this margin. I mean, I think the starting point with the power rating was probably at the wrong place. And now you have this injury that is compounding it. I don't know, man. That 10.5 is a little much here. So I think it's going to be the Magic for sure.
Okay.
And Justin, I'm sorry. I think I forgot to put this one in there. I'll throw that in the rundown as well. But I have 2 NBA plays. This is going to be one of them. We'll call it a play on principle, and they'll lose by 11. But Orlando plus 10.5, I think, is the play. I'll go down on that ship willingly.
That is a good tease, though. We've got our best bets coming up next segment, like we do each and every day at the end of the hour. Montreal Max chiming in on X. After I was reading that Scott Wedgwood tweet, he said, Stormy, that Avalanche Awards tweet you read was so great. I was one of those viewers nodding my head, saying, yep, with it all. And then also, because we had the conversation about the NCAA tournament expanding to 76, said with 76 teams, we get 6 games on Tuesday and Wednesday instead of Dayton doubleheaders. So maybe 3 games at 2 sites, like a 4, 6:30, and 9 Eastern would rock. Like I said, we're going to watch all the games. Like, there's no question about that. I understand conceptually more basketball is fun for all of us. However, I just feel like the recipe has worked so well, and I don't like the idea of the rich always getting richer for the sake of it. Like, we don't need change for the sake of change.
Yeah, I'd agree with all that. Look, we're in a weird space, in an interesting space where we're just going to watch it, obviously do it our jobs and whatnot. But I think that if you were to ask the average college basketball fan, I don't think many are like too hip with this, unless you're just a program that's going to get in, and then I guess you get to watch an extra game.
I just don't think it's necessary. Like, it's just, but like we said earlier.
Well,
what?
I mean, I don't want to get in trouble either, but it's both tournaments that are expanding.
Yes.
Come on.
Unnecessary.
Yes. Very unnecessary.
It's just, it is what it is.
The women's tournament does not need to be expanded.
It is what it is. Okay, we got to step aside here. When we come back, wrapping up the day, there is one more hockey game that I want to get into. We haven't had an opportunity to discuss yet. A big one in Tampa coming up with the series tied at 2. We'll discuss that, best bets for the day, and a whole lot more. Stick around.
Lately, I've been looking at more intentional ways to reset my body and support longevity, and I'm really excited because I'm about to start Prolon. What really drew me in is that you get the benefits of fasting without actually having to fully fast. It's a structured, science-backed 5-day program designed to support things like metabolic health, fat loss, energy, and even skin, all while still nourishing your body. I've spent time diving into the research behind it, and it's designed to work at the cellular level, which is exactly the kind of wellness I'm drawn to. I'm excited to test it and share my experience with you. If you're ready for your own reset, for a limited time, FieldSwell listeners get 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/FieldSwell. That's prolonlife.com/FieldSwell to claim your discount and your bonus gift.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
You've got the group chat, you've got the opinions. Now you can put your money where your mouth is on Cut, the social betting platform that lets you bet directly against your friends and other users on sports, politics, pop culture, even personal bets. Every bet is fully customizable and pre-funded, so nobody flakes out when they lose. Plus, you get cash back on every single bet you make as well. Use our promo code today, VSIN, VSIN. That'll get you a 20% deposit bonus on your first deposit. Download Cut today at KUTT.com or find it in the App Store. And again, use that promo code VSIN. Stormy Buonantony, Jonathan Von Tobel with you. We're wrapping up this Wednesday edition of Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Missed any of the program, want to catch up on some of our opinions, you can always download Money Moves wherever you get your podcasts as well. What are you laughing about?
No, lots of different things. What were you looking at?
The camera?
No, when we were coming back. You were just staring at me. What's your problem?
You said iron sharpens iron.
I did.
And then you said, admit it. And I said, I am a wood plank.
Oh, okay. And then you just stared at me, but I couldn't hear what you said. So you're just staring at me. Evan checked in at MeJVT, said, let's normalize shaming women for not washing their hair. Hashtag dry, hashtag dry shampoo.
No.
That feels sexist, but since I think it's all men in here today, I can read that.
So my husband recently, as you saw, he grew his hair out pretty long. He cut it. He cut it because he was so disgusted with having, like, the thought of having to wash his hair more regularly. It's very, very difficult with long hair to, like, manage and wash and dry your hair all the time. Mm-hmm. And there is dry shampoo. It's still, like, cleansing your hair and fixing some of the oils and stuff. It makes it smell nice. What's wrong with it? I don't think I need to be shamed for that. I actually have very recently got one of the, like, best compliments on a hair day that I had after I hadn't washed it for like 4 days. They're like, oh my gosh, did you just get your hair done? It's like, no, and I didn't even wash it. So, boom.
All I know is that this is all very relatable to our audience.
It is. We've got, I hope, some women that are listening out there. Support. Come on. Let's get into the bets of the day. First, recap what went down for you yesterday. I didn't have any bets on the turnaround. I've got some today, though, people. Fear not. I know people get upset sometimes on the website if we don't have our picks in, but today I have some. So get excited. What do you have?
All right, recap from yesterday. Boston Celtics minus 11.5. Did they get there?
They lost by about that much.
Yeah, they did. They were not good. So Celtics minus 11.5 does not get there. Market got that right. There was a late move in toward the Philadelphia 76ers. So that is a loser from yesterday. Today, we'll go 4. We'll span the globe. First and foremost, Colorado Rockies starter Tomoyuki Sugano. We will go over 3.5 earned runs at plus 120. Talked about this a lot. Even brought it up a little bit yesterday. I've been looking for ways to play against Sugano. You can just go through the litany of options of betting markets, and there's a lot out there that's really, I think, baked in pretty accurately. But I think they can tag him for 4 here today. This Reds group at home. So we'll go Sugano over 3.5 earned runs at plus 120. You'll like this one. Throw it up, boys and girls. Show Stormy what we've got. Knights, money line, minus 155. The even strength metrics have been in their favor through this series. We have talked about that a lot. You should be able to get this done. I don't trust Carter Hart that much, but I do trust that they have outplayed Utah. I was toying with the sense of laying the puck line, but I don't think I trust them defensively enough that this won't be, they might be up and get an empty net opportunity, but I just need them to win this game. I think they've outplayed them enough at even strength to get this done. I think minus 155 is a fair price, so we'll go there.
Well, you got a decent price on it, too, because it has gone up a handful of places. I know DraftKings, which is available nationwide, minus 167 right now. Oh, yeah. But, like, I don't, and maybe it's because I'm covering this series, and I will be on the broadcast, by the way, Friday in Utah again for Game 6. But I've had a really hard read on this series. And
no, you haven't.
I think sometimes that haven't. Yes, I have.
No, you haven't. No, the Utah has been outplayed. It's just that hockey is stupid at times, and that is the way that it works. Again, I say it lovingly, but in a game, I watched that game. I watched it in detail on Friday. I went back and rewatched it.
And you watched Vegas have a dominant start, get out to a 3-0 lead, and then proceed to allow. Okay.
No, I'm talking Friday, where they gave up freaking 4 goals on 12 shots, while the other end was tilted and Vegas was just peppering Utah with shots over and over again, and they just couldn't find it.
Well, also, if you're Utah and you're up as much as you are, you're playing a very different brand of hockey as well. Not to say that they shouldn't have had more shots on net and been better, but I mean, you're in a different situation. Vegas, I mean, the expected goal numbers, I think it was like 2.85 to 1.75 in favor of Vegas, even though they lost 4-2. So, yes, I understand what you're saying. However,
what do you know about hockey?
Yeah, nothing. I'm just useless.
Compared to me,
useless. But I mean, I've been very impressed by Utah. I'll just say that. But we've seen both teams in this series win and lose on home ice. I think this is like a lot of series we've seen, it's a coin flip right now. But go ahead, finish your play. Sorry.
2 in the NBA. Cavaliers team total over 113.5. Talked about this with Kelly. I like the idea of bouncing back, some shooting regression for Cleveland. Coming back home, getting the role players to play a little bit better against Toronto. They have shot like garbage over the last 3 games. Would expect that you find at least your average here today to get over this total. They played much better offensively there. And then the play of principle, the Magic plus 10.5.
Just because you just have to. Yeah. It's just too big a number.
Yeah.
Going to the ice for me, looking at this Montreal-Tampa game, series tied at 2. Before I give you my play, we did get some injury stuff. Victor Hedman this morning, John Cooper said no change in his status, so still doubtful for the series. I know some people were freaking about Brandon Hagel yesterday because he didn't skate. He's fine, good to go. I'm rolling with Montreal money line. And maybe I'm crazy here, but for a series that has been such a coin flip to be getting plus 142 on Montreal in this spot, and I understand, yes, they're on the road. I just think from a number standpoint, you got to take a shot with it. They lose that game to Tampa in game 4, but dominated such a good portion of it, JVT. They're up 2-0 before Jake Getzel gives Tampa some life with that goal at the end of the second period, built on that momentum in the third. But the Canadians, like, to me, this just seems like too big of a number for how close every single game in this series has been. They have proven already they can win in Tampa. Brendan Gallagher also expected to get back into the lineup. Habs making a couple of changes. Noah Dobson, he's not going to go tonight, but at least worth noting there, the expectation that he's going to be back sooner rather than later. He was a regular, obviously a very important piece for Montreal throughout the course of the regular season. So to get him back, I think in this series will be big. But Montreal on the money line today. And then I already mentioned a couple of my plays in the Flyers-Penguins game that we have coming up. First period under 1.5, minus 110. We haven't seen the Flyers score a single first period goal in this thing. Penguins few and far between themselves as well. And at this price, I think it's just worthwhile to continue, especially considering this is a game I think big picture is probably an under game, played more toward that traditional playoff style that is more defensive and harder hitting. I don't have the under 5.5 as a best bet today, but it's certainly a lean. And even though I already have the Flyers in the series at plus 140, I'm going back to the well. JVT doesn't think I should do it. He's also biased because he has a series play on Pittsburgh in this spot. But them at home to close this thing out, I know they've lost the last two as Pittsburgh has climbed their way back into this thing, but I have faith that they finish it out today at a relatively cheap money line price at home, minus 122.
You want some news from the last few hours?
Yes.
Mary Kay Cabot covers the Cleveland Browns.
For the Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Good job. I don't know why you say it in that voice.
I just think that's a cool name of a publication. Sorry, go on.
Deshaun Watson has emerged from voluntary minicamp with an edge over Shedeur Sanders, sources say, and has the inside track to be named QB1.
What are we... What a time to be alive.
Watson has taken the lead over Shedeur Sanders in the Browns quarterback competition, inside track to win it. I think this is Cabot here now saying, editorializing, they should declare him quarterback one as soon as possible and let the first team offense start to cook. There's no time to waste.
How much does that drum up excitement for you about the Cleveland Browns in 2026?
I mean, it's where they're at right now.
Like, what is this team? Especially,
I don't know what Watson's cooking, though.
I find it interesting after... especially a week where they had so many wins and the Browns were so celebrated for what they were able to do in the draft, to now have this announcement that, yep, Deshaun Watson, he's back. He's going to be our guy. That honestly does not make me feel good at all about their quarterback situation if he's the guy that's the clear-cut favorite in the... Did
you really think that there was that big of a gap between Shedeur and Deshaun Watson?
No, but I'm just saying, wouldn't you think or want him to develop and be the guy for you?
I mean, I think the Browns quarterback for 2027 is not on this roster.
I am in complete agreement.
Yeah, so...
But
you're paying the guy.
You would think you'd at least want to see, because no matter how much money you have paid Deshaun Watson, that is a loss.
I think they saw a lot. You know me. I'm a big you got to see what you got guy. I think they saw what they got.
Okay. What's the latest on your boy out there in Indy? Or no longer? Or maybe no longer?
Talking about Anthony Richardson? Yeah, no, he's not the starting quarterback. He's done.
No, but I'm saying for his career.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he'll get picked up, and he's still pretty young. I'm sure he'll be some developmental project. And
do you think
given
that
my luck,
he'll get fixed, though, and be something? Or will it be like a Trey Lance?
Yeah, with my luck as a sports fan, he'll probably go to, I don't know, Minnesota and become incredible and beat out J.J. McCarthy and then win 3 Super Bowls.
He'll be the next Sam Darnold or something like that.
No, he'll be, I don't even know. He'll probably turn into Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, on that note, what a way to end the show. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. As always, JVT, enjoy the next couple days. Take a little bit of time off and enjoy a lot of bad food.
I'm on Harvard Handicappers tomorrow.
Beverages and all of that. Still working on his day off. Yeah. Rub it in.
That's what we do.
Have a great day, everybody. Good luck with your bets. Make sure you keep it locked right here. Follow the Money's coming up next. Oh, yeah. Paulie Howard, Mitch Moss coming up after this. Bye.